stack up any longer.
I call Matt King.
It's a pleasure to take a short call on this Crimes Amendment Bill. 3 parts to it, 3 small parts. We had a much wider-ranging review of the Crimes Act in our last term, and I see that they've picked out 3 small parts of it and they're running with that. I'd like to acknowledge the former Minister, Amy Adams, for the work she's undertaken in this area. And the fact of the matter is, let me speak, the fact of the matter is, we could have included this opposition, this coalition government could have included it in last year's statutes amendment bill if it had been that urgent, and I'm not belittling it because it is important. But if they had taken it last year when we were several of those amendments, then we could have got it done then. But anyway, we support it going to the Select Committee. We support the input from the public, and we hope during the Select Committee stage there'll be a wider range of amendments included into it. Now let's talk about blasphemous libel. And it's last century's legislation, and it's outdated and it's archaic. I'm glad to hear there hasn't been a prosecution since 1922. I've never arrested anyone for it in the time that I was in the police. I'm happy. I understand that it conflicts with the Bill of Rights as well. In fact, I didn't even know that it was in the law. And so I'm glad. Well, I knew it had been in the law, but I thought that it had been repealed years ago. So I'm glad that it's being repealed now, and I see that the churches do support it. Now, what's more important is the year and a day rule. Now, that doesn't stack up for a number of reasons. Most other countries have repealed it. Let me finish. The idea that an offender can be held criminally, an offender can't be held criminally liable for the death of someone if they live beyond a year and a day is to me is a crazy. It's just not right. And the CTV building is case in point. And in terms of the law around the protection of spouses and civil union partners in the terms of accessory after the fact, again, that's yesterday's legislation and needs to be updated. It defies logic why it was ever the law. But in reality, these are classic examples of government filler bills, filibustering legislation. It's a small bill, 4 pages, 9 clauses, 2 schedules. We could have had it, like I said, could have done it done last year, and last year's bill that we debated. They've even taken the members' bills and put them in the government order paper. But that's par for the course for this coalition government. This demonstrates that this government's disorganised and is searching for relevance. It proves they're out of ideas. Yesterday, during the Auckland fuel tax debate, they said we had no plan, that we lacked ideas. Their answer was it was another tax. If that's the government's plan to solve everything, no thank you. I commend this bill to the House.
Mr. Speaker.
Order. Order. I call Angie Warren Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am